Hey guys, you're super pumped. I'm really excited to talk to you guys about a concept that is just like so massive and so foundational. It's like the core of any kind of interaction, any kind of situation where you're really working with others. Like everything comes down to this one concept, and it sucks because most people, because of pride, because of greed, or because of maybe the way they're raised, they never really fully understand this concept, and because of that, it radically limits the amount of upside, the amount of growth, the amount of scale that they can have in sort of the assets that they create, and especially like the lives that they run, which is why I'm really excited to talk to you about this today, because once you sort of understand this one concept, one principle, like it opens up so many doors, and it's total paradigm shift. I remember once I uncovered this, it was just a massive change in everything I was doing, and shifted how I thought about the time I spent with other people, which I think is really powerful. So I'm super pumped to share it with you. Hope you're excited, and I'll see you guys after the intro. So the big question is this: how do investors like us, who don't have a PhD in finance or millions to start investing, how do we grow our bank accounts to build real savings and retirements, and yet still have the time to do what we really love? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answer. So here's the deal, okay? We're working on like file transfer. Basically, I've got like probably terabytes, like 4 terabytes of stuff to send over editing, which is going to be like, so exciting for you guys. I have so much content like done, but it's just like raw, so it's got to get like edited. And so I've been trying site after site after site, like for file sharing. I've tried like literally probably 12, 13, 14 file sharing sites, like every single file sharing service that I could find on Google. I tried out. And the thing with most of them is like they have a limit. So they can be like, you can transfer like 5 gigabytes or 10 gigabytes or 20 gigabytes. And I need to transfer like, 3,000 gigabytes. And it's like totally different. And so like I could totally just like upload it to AWS or like upload it to my own stuff. But that would cost me like a couple $100 in hosting fees. And I'm not a big fan of just like wasting money. If there's a way to do it without wasting money, it's not going to take too long to uncover. And so here's sort of the shift, right? Most people, they would go and they would brute force this problem, and they would just try to figure it out on their own. That's what I tried to do for about 45 minutes, an hour, and it was totally unsuccessful. It didn't work whatsoever. And so I decided to not just try to like do it myself, but instead think about like who are other people that might understand how to actually manage these files effectively. Who are other people that could help me get to this success, or help me get to the growth or to get the objective I desire. See, what's really interesting is if you look at some of the most successful companies on the planet, the most successful ones, they think of the people they want to work with before they think of the product they want to develop. And the reason why is because the people are more powerful than the end result, because the end result is just serving the people. And so if you can surround yourself with a mastermind of people, it's going to get you any result that you desire. All you have to do is put your attention, your focus on it. And so what I do is I ask the most obvious person in my life. I ask my editor, I say, hey, how do you think we should transfer all these giant files and stuff? And, we realize like we can compress it with WinRAR instead of, day 3 being like 40, it's a 600 gigabyte file. So instead of it being like, 300 videos, it's probably like, 18, 20 hours of content, recorded in all different camera angles and all that fun stuff. It's like, how can we transfer it like at once? I mean, I've been trying to send this file through every service known to man. And not even Amazon can do it. You have to have like 170 gigabytes is the biggest file size you can send with S3, or else you have to sign up for new programs. And then it's just a whole bunch of work. And so, I reach out and I say, what do you think we should do? What do you think makes the most sense? There's a lot of stuff for this guy to get like edited. And so like, what are you supposed to do, right? And, he says something that I could not believe, something I would have never in like a million years thought of on my own. And this is the critical part, especially as you get an outside perspective, is like you'll learn things that you never, ever thought of on your own. Like today, it was super rainy outside. And so, we were at this bus stop, and I'm talking, have a great time, learn about people, and, exercising social skills, which is like absolutely critical for connecting with any kind of business relationship whatsoever. And, as I'm talking, and the bus comes, right? And, I sit up front, I'm talking to the bus driver, and just start, talking to the bus driver. He's from New York, just like freaking awesome. As I'm talking to the bus driver, he starts to reveal to me things that like I would have never known. This guy's like, 40, 50, 60, like, he's been around the block, and he knows all these crazy things about history, all these crazy things about like media, about personalities, about development, and about like social skills. I would have never guest I met, and he told me this like crazy story about how like some of the most successful people on the planet actually have like these backgrounds and not a lot of people know about. And how like he looked at Elton John, right? No, not Elton John. The other really big singer guy. What's his name? I forget his name. He's really popular. What's his name? Oh, it was Elvis. Okay, so he's talking about Elvis, and he was talking about like how Elvis had like actually dyed his hair, and so like his stage hair was totally different from like his personal life, and everything for him, he had like two personalities, right? He had this personality he would have when he was on stage and performing, and he had this other personality that he had when he was with his family, when he was with his friends. And what was so interesting is like he actually grew up years and years at the beginning of his life as a truck driver, and so the way he got from where he was going to where he wanted to be was not necessarily like just performing. It actually started out with him working, trying to get better and better over time. And the way he did that was by listening to mentors, listening to others who were smarter than him and knew what the heck was actually going on. And so it was the same concept. People like Bill Cosby, right? He went to jail for like, murder, which is insane. And he gets out of jail, and all he does is surround himself with people that are actually out there working in the comedy space. And everything shifted for him, not when he was, in prison, not when he was in solitude, but instead when he surrounded himself with other people. That's why it's so critical that if you want to get to an end result, if you want to get to sort of growth, it all comes down to being around with others who are in the same space. And, he did that. He got surrounded with some of the most popular people in comedy on the planet, and he became uber successful because he listened to them, right? And so with this, so what you discover is like you can actually like create a torrent file for your own file, and then host a torrent file, and then you can have like someone else use the link to that, and you can download it right over from your computer, like without like it's like free, which is like super cool. And that came from asking someone, asking editor, asking people who know what the heck's going on, more so than I could ever even like hope to. I've been doing it for years and years, and so it makes so much more sense to leverage the growth of other people, because it's so crazy. Is like 80% of the growth that you have is going to come from 20% of the time you dedicate to that growth, and a vast majority of the value and the development that you create is going to come not necessarily from the work that you're doing, or not necessarily from all the time and effort, bam, that you put in, but instead it's going to come from like how many people you can connect with, how many people you can learn from. This guy's from New York. Like he's got a very different background than me, and so it's really critical that you understand different perspectives. And the way you do that is by opening your mouth and asking people around you, asking those influential people in your life who are experts in their area, and figure out what they think, figure out what they would do, how they would move towards success in any kind of industry. That's where the key. That's the big shift. Is instead of just trying to do it, you want to. There's this really great book. It's called You to the Power of We. Like you want to do it with exponential help of other people. And as soon as you make that like simple shift, like everything fades away, and it becomes so much easier to get those end results, to get that growth, to have the explosive, development that you want. It all comes, not just from like uncovering how to send a file, not just from like figuring out, how to compress files, but it's like bigger than that. It's every single task that you come by. You always have this option, right? You have this question, do I want to build this entire company from scratch myself? I remember this question I asked myself starting Monero. I was like, do I want to code the whole thing myself? Or do I want to bring someone in who's like a specialty at that, who knows what the heck they're doing in that, can do it way better than I could ever even dream of? Because you want to surround yourself with the best people. And that was the best decision, and it's led to a lot of, it's just been phenomenal, and so much more than I could have done on my own, because it all comes down to surround yourself with the right people. So the big message, the big shift for today is to totally stop. Most people, they just don't actually look for other people. They don't look for other perspectives eagerly because they don't want to feel like they're wrong. They don't want to feel like somebody else is telling them something they don't know, or that they're not actually the smartest person on the planet. And that is not the goal. I lived like that for a long time, did not work, wasn't exciting, had no friends for a very long time. Instead, you want to actively and qualitatively seek and appreciate other people's positions and understand where they're coming from. And then as soon as you can do that, as soon as you can uncover their underlying perspectives, you're gonna have a total game shift. And it's so much more powerful because now you're leveraging the mastermind. Now you're leveraging the group. Now you're leveraging those around you. So that's the big message for today. I guess I hope you get a ton of value out of this training. Go out there, apply it, absolutely crush it. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you. Bye. Want more stock market secrets? If so, go get your free copy of my best-selling book, 9 to Noon. You get your free copy plus $11,176 of unannounced bonuses. It took me years to uncover, completely for free at 9toninsecrets.com. Inside 9 to Noon, you'll find the top 38 secrets you can use to double your portfolio every 2 years and make upwards of 10% daily.